Coming into Lane Frost home, Clyde and Elsie Frost, of course, still live here, and Elsie has taken some of the students from the school around and showing them around. But this is a really cool experience and wonderful to be able to be here and to be able to see this and experience where Lane Frost lived.
Actually, to me,
Elsie's talking to some of the students now.
Helping us, the big tall boy that's frying hamburgers and stuff, his name's Lane too. And of course, he was here. And of course, they made it Clyde size so he can wear it, so that's his. And I think they said the same people makes it as they make the Super Bowl ring, so it's really nice. It's heavy. I tell everybody, I don't sass Clyde when he's wearing this ring. I don't. And then I'll show you this other deal. It was kind of interesting. When Lane rode Red Rock at those matches, they were just exhibition rides. You know, he didn't get any money out of it at all. But when he rode at Spanish Fork, they give him this little gift that says, "In appreciation for your contribution to professional rodeo." Anyway, Lane was kind of excited because he'd never got anything like that before. It's a little gun with 2 different calibers. And I said Lane wasn't much of a gunman, so he brought it home and told his little brother, said, "Here, you go and shoot this, see if it works." You know? And he did, and it worked. Anyway, that's kind of neat. And then I didn't even tell the rest of them, but 2 of these medals are for the Hall of Fame. Clyde was re-inducted, and so was Lane. But one of these medals is from the Winter Olympics at Calgary, Canada in '88. Was the first time they ever had any rodeo connected with the Winter Olympics. And so it was just a match between Canada and the United States, and Lane got to go in the bull riding, and the United States won the gold medal and Canada won the bronze, and so he was proud of that too. He said that was an exciting thing. He said just to be able to walk in there with all those other great athletes was such an honor. He said, you know.
A couple of guys here had a question for you about Kelly. What's she doing now?
She remarried and has 2 children that are half grown, you know, and they rodeo. Both of them do, and she lives out in West Texas with her husband on a ranch, and he's a wonderful guy. He just kind of accepted us as part of the family, you know, and he didn't have to do that, so we appreciate that. And so we kind of claim them as our grandkids too, you know. Aaron and Brogan is their names. And so we don't get to see her very often, but I stay in touch with her, and once in a while we get to see them at a roping or something that we go to with our grandson. And so,
what do they do in rodeo?
The girl, I think, does all the girls' events, and I think she's qualified for the junior high finals this year. And then Aaron, the older boy, is a roper, mostly team roping, but I think he ropes calves too. I'm not sure about that. Some of the guys, no, he got a knife. Tuff was giving him at his bull riding, that's what it was. Well, Jim had won it twice, and so he got 2 knives, and I said, "Oh, you need to give me one of those since you got 2. Well, he did, and I said, "No, Jim, I was just teasing," but he gave it to me anyway.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll see you back over there in a little bit.
Thank you, Elsie.
You're very welcome. And the clock up there, Lane had that made for me when he was in high school. He was in shop, and he'd seen one like that somewhere. And so the shop teacher helped him, and it's got 4 of Clyde's buckles, 4 of Robert's buckles, and 4 of Lane's buckles. And of course, it's old, as you can see. I don't clean the buckles on it very often. But pull that drawer out. Oh, and I didn't show the others, but
your daddy told you I got no direction. A pickup and a camper ain't a home. I ain't saying that he's wrong, but you gotta do this on your own. So what's it gonna be? If you wanna come with me, it's gonna be a wild ride. You gotta hold on tight, roll with the punches when there ain't no wind inside. It's never thinking about the cost, getting back home when you get thrown off. Even when they say you ain't got a lick of sense, it's a wild ride, but it sure beats sitting on the fence. I know they're running off with some cowboy ain't something that a lady like you had planned. into your eyes, I see all the love inside. Don't let life pass you by. If you wanna be mine, it's gonna be a wild ride. You gotta hold on tight, roll with the punches when there ain't no end in sight. It's never thinking about the cost, getting back home when you get thrown off. Even when they say you ain't got a lick of sense, it's a wild ride, but it sure beats sitting on the fence. Go on with the life that you were living, and maybe that would be enough. But if you think of something you'll be missing, and you're willing to take a chance on love.
See, and Elsie, one of the things I was going to ask you, you have obviously a lot of things here from Lane, and what's one of the things that means the most to you that you have here that you can show us?
Well, probably his world's champion buckle, that was so important to him. He just, like I say, when he was little, he always talked about when I get to be a world's champion, and so that was just really a highlight to him. And so I think that's probably one of the main things. And then we're proud of the ring, too, that they honored him with when they put him in the PVR Ring of Honor, but that was after he was deceased, and so they made it Clyde size, and he wears that. So, but both of those things are pretty important.
Well, I know that you've kept his room. Is it just like it was?
No, actually, it's not. Actually, his bedroom was the one back there, and this was kind of a den at that time, and so we turned it into a bedroom, and then that kind of into a trophy room. That room is where, like I say, it was we had kind of a den here, and that was kind of a formal living room. Well, we're not formal living room people, but that's where Lane kept. At that time, we did 8mm movie film of him riding. And so he kept the little screen and the movie projector up in there 9/10 of the time. And just as soon as of course we had to wait till we sent it off and got it developed, but he just couldn't wait then to show it, And he wanted me to film every bull ride, not just his. He wanted every bull. Of course, that didn't happen, but I got a lot of them. And so anyway, that's not actually his room, but it's kind of the trophy room now. So.
Okay. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, with the movie 8 Seconds and just everything being so famous about Lane, has it made it easier on you with everybody remembering that, or a little bit harder?
I don't know, because there's nothing to compare it with. Sometimes I feel bad for other parents that have lost loved ones that don't have those same honors and stuff, and I know it doesn't, they think about their loved one just as much as we do, and to me it is an honor, that people still remember him and talk about him and stuff. But, I just don't know. I mean, it still hurts, that he's gone. And I think it probably does make it easier because it's just an honor that they do. But like I say, since I don't have anything to compare that with, I've only lost the one, and so hopefully that will be all. And so it's just the way it's happened with us, and I just feel like God would have us to go ahead and carry his legacy on, because there have been people that's been saved because of the message that Lane has left, and so we're certainly proud of that.
Right.
So
now, what would be something, just a fun memory when he was a kid growing up that you could share with us?
oh gosh,
There's probably several.
yeah, there's probably several of those. Oh, I don't know, little things like Cody, his younger brother, was always smaller than him for a long time, and Lane was kind of bossy, he'd say, come on, Cody, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and it didn't matter whether Cody wanted to or not, they were going to go do it. And anyway, then when Cody kind of grew up a little bit in high school, and they used to wrestle a lot because Lane was a wrestler in Utah. He loved the sport of high school wrestling. And so he taught Cody how, and they'd wrestle. Well, there come a time when Cody got a little bit bigger, and they got to wrestling here in the living room floor one night. And they wrestled, and finally it went to the bedroom, and they did some more. And finally, I think they just kind of called a truce, and Lane came out, and he said, I think I better not do that anymore. I think he's outgrown me. Just a few things like that. So he decided maybe he wouldn't boss Cody around quite so much then, because he was getting big enough to whoop him.
That works. Now, Just one last question. Out of all of his rides and everything, what would be your most memorable or favorite ride that Lane had?
Well, probably all of the Red Rock rides, even though we weren't there to see them, and probably the one at Sisters, Oregon, to me is one of the greatest rides that he made. That Red Rock got so high up in the air and bucked so hard there, and he rode him, and so I think to me that's one of the most memorable ones. But then there was, Neil Gay had a bull called, I can't even remember now, but when he first got his permit, we went to Mesquite to the rodeo, and he rode his first bull and made it to the short round, and he drew this bull in the short round. And he was so young then, and nobody had ever asked him for his autograph yet or anything. And he went to Neil about this bull, and Neil said, "Lane, I think you've kind of overdrawn yourself." He said, he's really a bucker. And anyway, Lane rode that bull and marked 90 on him, and so to him that was just a really. And Neil came over and said, "Well, I guess you didn't overdraw yourself after all," or something like that. He was tickled that Lane rode him, and that was really special. And that's the first time somebody came down, and like I say, he was just barely out of high school then, and somebody came down, there was one or two kids came down and asked for his autograph. Oh, he was just in hog heaven, and so that was really special. Dillinger was that bull's name.
Oh.
And so Dillinger was a special bull to Lane. In fact, he told me one time, he said, I'd like to have a plaque made for Neil about that bull. He never got around to doing that, but it was real special to him.
Yeah, well, Dillinger is considered one of the best bulls ever, so.
Well, yeah, it was, and he was so proud that he had rode him that day. And like I say, he was really young, and so that was a highlight in his memory.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate you letting us come in the
You're very
home and
welcome.
letting all the riders here and the bullfighters come and see it. I know they're all excited, and it's really
We enjoyed
something for them
doing
to be able to
Lane
enjoy.
would just be so proud to know that his arena that he built, especially for that, it's what he built it for, to put on schools and for a practice, pen, and so he would just be thrilled that it's still being used for that.
All right, well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome, very welcome.
It's gonna be a wild ride. Gotta hold on tight.